Okay, this is probably as good as I'm gonna get the camera. I am filming in our bedroom right now because Josh, I guess this is kind of just like an update video, what's been going on in Josh and I's life. So Josh, since yesterday, so this just happened yesterday, he got an email from his manager saying that if you're able to work from home, so any company that its employees are able to work from home has to work from home. So I don't know if this is going for all of Seattle or just King County. It sounded like it was just King County. All this is happening because of the coronavirus also. So literally like everyone is working from home for the whole month too. That's what it said in the email. So King County, like government officials, sent out an email, a mass email to everyone saying if your employees are able to work from home, they need to work from home for the next month. I guess until this coronavirus settles down a little bit. I don't really know. So that's been happening. So Josh has been going upstairs to our kind of like loft area, but it's like everyone can use it in the apartment, and he's been working up there. And I went up there and worked with him yesterday. Just the Wi-Fi up there is so crappy. I couldn't get anything to load on my laptop, so then I ended up coming right back down here in our apartment. Oh, Josh's computer was working fine up there, so I don't know. Oh yeah, and then that kind of, I guess in a way, leads me to the next topic I had. So this stupid storage thing that's been going on for what? Maybe 2 months now. For 2 months now has been, so it's so stupid. So we contacted Apple support. I might have talked about this in another video, or maybe it was just on Instagram stories, saying how Josh and I went to this brewery. As you know, we've been doing this hot passport thing, and we went to this brewery called Lucky Envelope. It was a little bit later at night. It was after Josh got home, and we've actually been there a few times and we really like it there. That would probably be our go-to brewery if we were able to go there every single day and not get a beer belly. But Josh and I went there to grab a beer, get a stamp on our hot passport, and while we were there, we were going to work on our computers and work on fixing my phone storage. And we tried everything at this point, and Josh said, you might need to contact Apple support. And last time we had to do this, it was on my laptop storage. Josh had to contact Apple support, and he said that it was on their chat. So if you go onto apple.com website, you can do a chat, just basically texting them. But when you're doing that, you're just getting their customer service. So Josh is a software engineer, so he kind of knew that this customer support representative wasn't going to be able to help him fix the laptop storage. He knew it was a bigger issue. He needed to talk to another Apple software engineer. So he got a hold of them and he was messaging them, he said, for over an hour. This was a while ago for my laptop storage. And he finally was able, they sent him to a customer support representative, brought him finally to a software engineer, so she couldn't figure out the problem, but it took an hour to get to that point. So he finally got it, but it took way longer than it needed to. It was kind of, for example, Josh knew what the problem was, but because he's obviously doesn't work for Apple, he needed an Apple software engineer to fix the problem. So he knew what it was, and he knew that this customer support person wasn't going to be able to help him. So he was trying to get the customer support person to just I need to talk to a software engineer to fix this problem. I know what's wrong with it. I need to talk to a higher up. I don't know if anyone's ever had that problem. So fast forward to a couple weeks ago, we've had the same problem with my phone now. And I have a brand new iPhone 11. That's what I'm filming on. And I went to make this exact video a couple days ago. Or not a couple days ago, I think it was last week. And every time I started it, it said iPhone storage full, iPhone storage full. I was getting notifications and it would just stop filming. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I went and looked at the storage and it said there was this other bar and it was taking up over half of the storage. It was just other. So it wasn't apps, it wasn't podcasts or books or, and pictures or videos. It wasn't anything. It was just this other bar. I was like, what in the is this? Like, what is other? I don't know. I only have 80 photos, only 80 on my cell phone right now because I could put them all on my laptop because I was having this problem. And I sent screenshots to Josh and I was like, I don't know what's other? How do I fix this? So we went to Lucky Envelope Brewing and Josh was like, we're probably gonna have to go and talk to Apple support, but just so you know, it's gonna probably take over an hour to convince them to bring us to a software engineer to fix it. And I was just thinking, I don't know what else to do. I have no idea how else to fix this, so I guess we're just gonna have to contact them and figure this out. And I asked Josh to do it because, I'm not a software engineer. I don't know all the terminology or anything. So I had Josh do it for me. So it took over an hour for them to finally send us up to one of their software engineers to fix it. So we got scheduled in for a phone call with the actual software engineer, and Josh and this guy were talking back and forth. I gotta go get this damp, just a sec. So Josh and the software engineer guy were on the phone, or not on the phone, they were messaging on that chat thing for a little bit, setting up a day to call and talk about the storage thing and try and figure it out. They were back and forth and they set up a time, and Josh told the guy, let's call that 11 PST. So, cause we're in, different states, so different time zones. And the guy was like, okay, sounds good. They were trying to call us at, I don't know, it was the complete wrong time. And I got an email and Josh was at work at Amazon. This was before the email was sent out for everyone to work from home. I called Josh and I was like, hey, the guy's trying to get a hold of you. It's way too early. Didn't you tell him, this whatever, the other time, 11? And he was like, yeah, I told him PST, but he must have got the time zones wrong. So luckily they sent an email just to set up another time, because I was worried because I thought we were gonna have to do the whole talking to the customer service person and do that whole thing again for an hour. So I was like, oh my gosh, because we missed the call because it was at the wrong time. So I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go through all of that again. It took forever the first however many times to do this. And so we set up another time, and then this time, what happened this time? I remember there was a mix-up the second time, but I can't remember what happened. And I think it was the wrong time zone again. So yeah, it happened again. So we set up another time, and at this point I was getting so mad. I was like, this whole phone storage thing and computer storage together has been 2 months trying to figure it out. So I went up to Josh and I was like, what if we just call them? I am going to just call Apple and be like, hey, we have this time set up. They never called us. And it's 12:15, which is what we all agreed on, and they didn't call us. Like, this has been going on for so long. Like, can I just call Apple and just figure this out once for all? Can you just get one of your freaking software engineers on the phone right now? We're ready to go. We have the laptop open, my phone's all charged up, we're ready to figure this problem out. So yeah, I called them, we explained the whole situation to the customer service rep again. Luckily they gave us a customer support, like fixing number. So we gave them the number, what we need fixed, whatever. It's the number that they give you when you have a problem. So we gave them the number, and she was looking at the past conversation we had with the other customer service rep, and she was like, oh, okay. So she could see it that she sent us to a software engineer. So she ended up just sending us to the software engineer right away, because the call was set for 12:15 and Apple never called, and Josh and I were ready to go at 12:15. So I called them at 12:15 and I asked her, I go, can we just do this now? Our call was at 12:15 and it's 12:20. Like, can we just do it now and not go through figuring out times again? Because obviously this isn't working. This is the second time that they messed up on the time. I don't know why they didn't call us, if they got the number wrong. Oh yeah, I remember. They had my phone number wrong. That was it. So they were calling just the wrong number. I don't know how in the world they got the phone number wrong. The phone number that the Apple had was my parents' home phone. I have no idea how they got that number. So that was the problem. They had the wrong phone number, but it was the right time. So, this is the second time that, it was just annoying. It's just, you're kind of at that fed up time, like, okay, can we figure this out? It's gone on long enough. So Josh and this software engineer, they got a software engineer on the line, and they were working at it for over an hour, probably, trying to figure out what was wrong. I don't even know what they did. It's whatever. It's really technical software engineer stuff that they did. I don't know. So they called us then on the weekend, on Sunday. I got an email saying that they figured it out. Let's have a time to call and explain how to fix the problem. So Monday rolled around, this Monday, this past Monday. I got an email and I forwarded it to Josh, and then he talked to the software engineer and they set up a time to call. We haven't heard back from them yet. And I was trying to film this video, this exact video. I was telling you earlier how the camera sorry, I'm gonna look at a mirror. I can't do this in the camera. I was trying to film this video and I was having some problems. So this is like the second or third time I've tried to film this. So earlier this week I was trying to film this and do kind of like a life update, and the camera kept turning off again, and in the keyboard I was trying to edit some I was trying to edit some pictures, and I needed to download this app. I wanted to try this app that I heard. So I went to go download, but the keyboard wasn't coming up to type in the name of the app in the App Store, if that makes sense. Okay, this is gonna be annoying, sorry guys. So I was like, man, what is going on? Like, why is the keyboard not coming up? So then I was thinking, well, maybe it's just the App Store, maybe. So I tried closing it out, reopening the App Store app. Still wasn't working. So I went into Messenger to see if it wasn't working in there either, to see if the keyboard wasn't working in the messaging app. So I went to try and text Josh. Again, wasn't working. Closed all of the apps out to just, restart, close all the apps all the way to see if that did anything. Still didn't work. So I was like, okay, let me just turn my entire phone off just like restart it, you know what I mean? Completely shut down the phone, turn it back on, see if that did anything. And all of a sudden it worked. I remember that a long time ago, back, so like 2 months ago, I remember Josh's sister, Jessica, told me that on her old phone that she would have some trouble with apps shutting down and, you know, just your phone malfunctioning, I guess, when she had a lot of storage taken up. So now I was thinking, okay, technically my storage is getting filled up from that other thing that is taking up all the storage. So I went on there to see if that had anything. So I went and checked the iPhone storage, and you wouldn't believe it, that other bar I was talking about was all the way down. I only had like 20 gig or something like that being used. It shutting the phone down got rid of all of that other bar that was taking up all my storage. And then I called Josh right away, and you won't believe, I shut my phone down because I was having some problems, and all of a sudden it's fixed. All the storage is gone, like it's back down to where it should be. So Josh said, okay, well, I still want to talk to that Apple support software engineer guy. I still want to talk to him so, you know, it doesn't happen again. And because they said they found what was causing the problem. So like, I want to know what was causing that. We're still waiting for them to contact back to see if any of those dates work that Josh sent. But I couldn't believe it. That all I needed to do this whole time was shut my phone down all the way and turn it back on. I feel so stupid. I think I did try that before earlier though. I think I did shut the phone all the way down earlier and it didn't do something. Like, I feel like I did that a couple weeks ago and it didn't do anything. So yeah, I guess the iPhone storage thing is fixed, but we're still waiting to hear back from the Apple software engineer so we know how to fix it next time, and so we can prevent this from happening, because this has been, I'm not even kidding, a 2-month-long battle trying to figure this out. Yeah, that's where we're at with the storage, but I'm really happy it's fixed. It was going on way too long. Way longer than it should have been. The next thing I wanted to talk about though was, I hadn't been online a lot lately. I made an Instagram thing about it, an Instagram story about it, and I made a different video about my Candid aligners that I'm using. And I haven't been online a lot because I have been in agonizing pain from these Candid aligners. I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth with it because I made another video clip to go into my whole Candid journey. So yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy in depth, but I've been kind of offline because I'm feeling sick from these Candid things. I think it might be messing with my wisdom tooth back here, and I haven't been able to eat anything. It hurts right now. It's causing me headaches. It's in a ton of pain, and I don't really know. I don't want to jump the gun and be like, oh, it's all Candid. It's Candid's fault, because, you know, it's not. And I talk about it more in that video, that it's too early to tell before I start pointing fingers and everything. And I also just don't want to be that person that, you know, blames Candid when really this is only the second or third day. But yeah, that's why I've been kind of quiet on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. I've just been in a lot of pain. These aligners, I've been taking ibuprofen religiously, you know, every 2 to 4 hours I'm taking ibuprofen just to ease the pain a little bit. Yeah, that's why I haven't been online as much as I would like to be, and why I've been kind of slacking on some videos. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, it's actually kind of hard, like doing your makeup and talking. I thought this was gonna be easy, but I've also never done this before, and I guess you're kind of multitasking because I can only think of a couple more things to talk about, and I'm not even halfway done yet. But whatever, this is my first time multitasking, talking while putting makeup on. Kind of like the big reason why I wanted to do this video is because Josh and I are actually thinking about moving potentially to a different city. So I know people are going to think, well, you know, why'd you move to Seattle then if you don't like it? So first off, when we moved here, we knew that the weather here was going to be gloomy and rainy. You know, we're not stupid. We knew that. We talked about it. When Josh got the job at Amazon, we seriously did have a sit down conversation, you know, just talking and saying this job opportunity with Amazon is something, it would have been dumb to turn it down, if that makes sense. We talked about it and I told him, I was like, you know, I'm a little worried about how gloomy and rainy it is there. Like, I don't know if we're from Wisconsin, so it's snowy and gloomy there, like just as bad, if not worse. I would even argue it's worse in Wisconsin. We're living in North Carolina, and for the most part, it's really sunny there. The weather is awesome in North Carolina. You know, do we want to move somewhere that's gloomy again and feels like we're going back to Wisconsin, just no snow, but it's always rainy? And it was just one of those things where the job offer that Josh got at Amazon was, it would have been dumb to turn it down, you know what I mean? It would have been stupid to turn down a job like this. I'm sure everyone has had those opportunities, and not just job opportunities, like any job opportunity, or not just jobs, but just any opportunity ever where it would have been stupid to turn it down. And that's where we were at. And it was purely financial reason, because before Josh and I moved to North Carolina, we were thinking that it would have taken at least 3 to 5 years to pay all our loans off. That's kind of what we were going with. And when Josh got the offer from Amazon, we paid it off. We looked at it and we would have been able to pay our loans off in 2019, that year. We would have moved to Seattle, paid our loans off in 3 months, and we were debt free. That's what it was. Another thing, because I know I'm getting kind of a lot of flack for Josh and I's style about how we follow Dave Ramsey and we do our financials and everything. Josh and I, before we got married, our number one goal when we got married, whether it took 2 years, 5, 10 years, our number one goal is to pay our student loans off. That was it. That was our number one goal. And we sacrificed a lot. We did not go out and party. We didn't go to any like bar crawls with friends. We didn't do our honeymoon. There's a ton of vacations, or not even vacations, but we got invited to go to a lot of different places from our friends back in North Carolina. And guess what? We turned it all down because all we wanted to do was pay our loans off. I just know people don't like Dave Ramsey and they give him a lot of crap. And you know what? It just kind of sucks because Josh and I don't give people crap about how everyone does their financials differently. You know what I mean? And not once have I ever been talking and saying like, that's how you do your financials. Like, that's not good. You need to be doing Dave Ramsey. I've never done that. Josh has never. We literally do not give a about how people do their financials. We do our financials our way and our accounting each month our way. We follow the Dave Ramsey plan and it works for us. It did work. We paid our loans off in October 2019. We paid it off 3 years earlier than what we were expecting because of the job at Amazon that Josh was offered. I don't know. I just feel like every time I post about it, someone's always just like needs to comment on our accounting and how we do our financials, and it drives me up the wall because Josh and I do it our way and you guys do it your way. I don't care. However you want to do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just needed to like get that little rant out because we've been getting a lot lately from people, and Josh and I are just, we don't get it. We don't get it at all. We have never gave anyone any crap about how they do their accounting stuff, and then for some reason we get a bunch of crap for it. I don't get it. You know, don't you think people would be like happy and proud of you, like, oh, that's awesome, you guys paid all your loans off, isn't that's wonderful. That is seriously such a good thing for someone, and then instead I feel like we're getting a bunch of crap for it. I just don't get it. Okay, so yeah, rant over. So when Josh got the job, we were like, okay, we could literally move to Seattle and then stay in Seattle for 1 year and then move back to North Carolina, and we would still come out ahead financially. You know, it was one of those opportunities and still come, you know what I mean? We could literally move to Seattle, pay our loans off in 1 year, and then move back to North Carolina and just still be ahead. If we absolutely hated Seattle and wanted to move back to North Carolina, it was one of those opportunities. Like, it would have been dumb to turn it down. Moved out here in May, paid our loans off in October, and we just recently, probably maybe a month ago, is when we started talking about possibly moving again. I feel like everyone's gonna be like, I told you so, Brittany, like, why are you guys moving? But I don't know, I guess Josh and I just like moving, and I don't know, there's a few reasons to it. Also, I'll get into it. Sorry, just a sec, all right, I'm back, sorry. I was losing my train of thought, and it's really hard to multitask, putting makeup on and talking, which is, you know, seems like it would be the easiest thing in the world, but I'm over here struggling. I was gonna say a couple points into why Josh, just kind of the backstory of how Josh and I are going through this process, like where our minds are at right now. I heard really good things about these little guys, these little elf miniature, I don't even know what they call them, like pocket, bite-size eyeshadow palette. And these are only $3 apparently, so definitely gonna give this a go. Well, not apparently, they are $3, I paid for this. So there was one day in, January, I think it was January. It was raining for months at this point, from November through January. It was just pure rain, gloomy as in, I'm talking, it was like nighttime darkness, that kind of darkness out all day. This is gonna be kind of a long story. Josh got home one day. I had to also go to the post office to drop off some packages, and I remember I was just dreading it because it was raining out all day. And when Josh and I moved to Seattle in, June, I would kind of run to the post office. Like, that would be my workout for the day. I would package everything up, hold it and run with it, and, you know, kind of get, what's the saying, 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, I'd get my workout done and drop off the packages, and I'd be squared away for the day. So that was kind of how I operated when it was summer here, because the summers are beautiful, but unfortunately they only last, 2 months. When it started to rain so much here, it was just a pain in my butt because I don't want to run in the rain. I've never liked running in the rain. Go ahead, people can judge away, I don't really care. I don't like running in the rain. So the other option I have is to take a jump bike. There's a lot of Lime bikes and jump bikes around here, so that's the other option. You can take that. I need another eyeshadow palette. Just a second. Let me move some stuff around and try and find another palette, because I kind of want a shade. This is the lightest shade, and then it's here. Like, I kind of want something in between to use these two shimmery shades, if that makes sense. I thought maybe that lighter one was gonna work, but you can't really see it. Oh yeah, where was I at? So yeah, it rains a lot here, and I don't like running in the rain. I never have. Don't know why, I just don't like it. I don't like running in the rain, and then you get home and you're cold and you're wet and you need it. It's just annoying. I don't like it. So then the other option is to take a jump bike or the Lime bikes here, but you have to pay for those. It's only a couple bucks. I get that, but you know, you pay $2 or $3 that way, $2 or $3 the next way to get back home. You know, you're anywhere from $6 to $10. However, I don't know the exact price of it. I've only done it a couple times and I can't remember how much. It's not a lot, but it's enough that if I had to do that every day or even a few times a week, you know, that adds up really fast. And then the last option is, okay, I'll drive. But then Josh and I live like downtown Seattle, so driving is not as convenient. So I don't know where to put this. Josh and I, it's not as convenient as you'd think. We live downtown. There's no parking, and traffic, unfortunately, is as bad as what they say it is. It sucks here in Seattle. Traffic is it is almost faster to walk than to drive because it's just so busy here. It is. There's no other way to put it. So, you know, a lot of people get rid of their cars when they move here because it's that bad of traffic. It's horrible. It really is. And there's not a whole lot they can do about it. The way the highways are built, there's not a lot they can do to fix it. And even if they do fix it, it takes years to fix. It's not easy totally reconstructing a city to make it convenient. Okay, yeah, and then there is one more option. Obviously walk. You know, I can just walk to the post office, bring an umbrella. I know. Where we live, there is a lot of post offices in Seattle. We live by 3 of them, and all 3 of those post offices are about a mile apart. All 3 of them, like 1 mile to this one, 1 mile to that one, 1 mile to this one. Like, they're all about a mile from our apartment. So it doesn't even matter which one you go to. They're about the same distance. So if you time out like how long it takes to walk them out, it's about 30 minutes. So, you know, 30 minutes to the post office, 30 minutes back. That's an hour of your day just dropping off packages, you know? I don't know, that's all, to me that's a lot of time. There's a lot of things I could get done in that hour than just walking to the post office. I don't know. You know, if I'm going to the post office, I need it to be a quick run to the post office. Whether I jog there, then I'm at least getting a workout in while I drop these packages off. Also, something I forgot to mention, there is no parking. So, you know, when you go to a Target or a Walmart, or there's some post offices that are in more smaller towns, there's a parking lot that you can park in. No, that's not here. There's no parking lot for these. You just have to find street parking and just hope that there's one. Or you pay for parking, which is anywhere from $5 to $10, just to quickly run in and drop a package off. Like, no, I'm not paying that. You know, call me cheap or wanting to save money, but no, I'm not gonna pay $5 or $10 just to run in quick, this 3-minute drop off some packages and leave. I'm not doing that. I think other people would agree, I would hope. Those are kind of the 4 options I have, and none of them are great. So now backpedal to when Josh got home that day. He was looking out the window and he goes, yeah, I don't know if this is somewhere that we want to live long term. And Josh walks back and forth to work every day, and I was looking at him and I was just thinking, I go, yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like, I don't know if this is a place that we want to be long term. You know, the weather's been annoying. it's almost more inconvenient, be that it rains so much, just for both him and I. He walks every day to work. I have to go to the post office enough times that it's annoying to drive, run, walk, bike, you know what I mean? Well, so if you know, Josh and I have been looking at houses in Seattle. The last few months since October, we were looking at houses to buy, and we have a realtor and everything, and we actually ended up emailing him, and we go, yeah, I think we need to sit back and think about, we're not sure if we want to live here anymore. I feel bad because we wasted his time the last, 3-4 months. But I guess, plans change. So that was kind of one of the reasons. Just the rain and just driving in the city just really does suck. So that's kind of one of the things. And the second thing that I want to talk about is a lot of the houses are, it is expensive to live here, and we can afford to live here. That's not an issue, but it's hard living somewhere when you know that you can get a nicer house somewhere else for way cheap versus here you're paying a lot of money for just a little bit of house. You know what I mean? Some of the houses that we looked at are, built in 1920, just rotted wood that they just paint over, and it's small. And we're looking at houses in different areas where you can pay that exact same price and get a brand new build. You know what I mean? That's kind of another thing. But the main thing is when Josh brought this up. So after Josh brought this up that one day when he got home from work, the next day we went to dinner at this I think it was like a burger steak restaurant, and we were sitting at the bar and we were both kind of like thinking and everything. And so one of the other things is, a while back, Josh got off the phone for our mortgage company that we're going with. It's Churchill Mortgage. It's a Dave Ramsey recommended one. They said because we're not using, so like I said before, Josh and I follow Dave Ramsey. I know a lot of people don't like him. I don't even want to hear it. Josh and I get enough crap about how we do our accounting. Guess what? Dave Ramsey works for us, and that's what we're doing. We're not using our credit cards to buy this house. We don't even own credit cards. We both don't. So our credit scores are going to 0, but you can't tell when it's gonna go to 0. So right now I have a credit score. I don't have a credit card. I got rid of it. So that score is gonna go down to 0 at some point, but you don't know when it's gonna go down. Or at least Josh and I don't, and I don't know if there is even a way to tell. Josh's credit score is literally at 0. So we are deciding we're following Dave Ramsey, so we're not using a credit card to pay for this house. So we were gonna put 5% down on whatever house we decide to go with, but the mortgage, Churchill Mortgage, said because there's no credit card, the banks are probably going to decline that 5%. So we're going to have to wait another year to put down 20% just with cash. So with that being said, we're like, okay, well, if we have to wait a year anyway, they're thinking that the banks will decline it. What if we just look for a different area to live in? We're not in a hurry now. We have to wait another year anyway. Why don't we start looking in different areas? And at the same time that this was going on, when Josh was on the phone with the mortgage company, Josh was telling me how he was kind of getting bored with the stuff that he's doing. So let me kind of give you an idea of kind of how the software engineer world is. I don't know it all myself, but this is gonna be kind of a dumbed down version. When you're a software engineer, you work on a project. So for example, Josh, when he got onto this Amazon team, he was working on Amazon. He works with Amazon Alexa home devices. So
sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry, I forgot that there's one in our room. Josh works with Amazon Home Alexa, and so Josh works with Amazon home devices. So he works on Alexa himself. I think you have to go and physically hit the button to turn her off. Okay, let me say this for the 100th time. Josh works on the Amazon Alexa team for home devices. So when he got onto this team, he was working specifically on an Amazon Alexa microwave. So you could say, Alexa, warm up my coffee for 20 seconds, and then the microwave would just go. So that was one example. And I think they were working on a Amazon Christmas tree for the holidays, because he got on the team in June. So they were working on the microwave, and when it was getting closer to the holidays, they were working on this Christmas tree. I tried filming and then something came up, had to pause it, took care of that. Came back, tried to film a few more times, and then there was some people walk in. Josh, I was saying earlier that he was working upstairs, kind of in like the common area. I showed it in another video what that space looks like, but I guess there's only one outlet up there. So Josh came in, he goes, yeah, there's only one outlet up there and someone's using it, and my laptop died, so I have to come back in here. So I go, okay, that's fine, just try and keep it down, because if you don't know, Josh and I live in a 1-bedroom apartment right now, so you can hear things really easily. I can't remember where I left off. Oh yeah, I think I do. Oh yeah, and then let me just do a little quick. So I use this on my eyes. I'm just using window. I don't have any fancy lights or anything for vlogging or whatever. I'm just using natural light from the window. And I think this looks good just for every day, So I used this shade all over the lid, and then I did end up using this on the outer corner. I figured if I just go in lightly with a brush and then just kind of like slowly layer it on. So that actually turned out good. I thought it was gonna show up a lot darker. I'm sure you could layer this, because I did. And then I just used this little shimmer shade all over the lid, and I like it. And this is gonna be an awesome traveling palette. I'm in the mood of buying a lot of traveling items right now, because Josh and I, when I talked about it earlier in the video, how one of the things Josh and I gave up to save money and pay our loans off was a honeymoon. We didn't go on a honeymoon, but we booked our honeymoon for May. I think we're leaving May 2nd. We decided to go with Barbados. A bunch of people, it was crazy. A long time ago, I put on recommendations for honeymoon if we should do a cruise or a resort, and a bunch of people said resort. I was surprised. Josh and I were kind of leaning towards a cruise. Dave Ramsey has this Dave Ramsey cruise that is happening, it might be this month actually, March, and we were going to do that as like a honeymoon. And a lot of people said, don't do that, that's not romantic, or that's not a good honeymoon thing. But I guess our thought was we would be with a lot of people that followed the Dave Ramsey plan, which is what we do. So I thought maybe just be a lot of people that think the same. And when we looked into it closer, a lot of the cabins on the cruise were sold out. So you were kind of stuck with a cabin that had no windows. It basically looked like a cheap hotel room. It was the cheapest cabin there was. Josh and I kind of wanted a little bit more of a nicer one, I guess, since we're kind of doubling it as our honeymoon. And then a lot of the, I guess, extras, I can't remember what the actual word was that Dave Ramsey called them, but it was extras. So you could do, for example, there was a wine pairing that you pair with food. It was like a whole event type of thing. So you try all these different wines and they pair it with, oh, this wine goes good with this type of dinner. And another one that Josh was interested in. I didn't really want to do this one because, I don't know, Josh wanted to do, they had a cigar kind of pairing, so you have different cigars paired with wine and meal, and that one was sold out. And then a lot of the performers, so those were sold out, and those were just examples of ones that we were interested in, but they were sold out and we're like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then they also had some performers there, but all of the performers were country music or musicians that I'm not really into country music at all. I never have been. And I didn't really recognize any of the names of these country artists, so I wasn't really interested in that. And then they had a lot of magicians, which I'm not that into, like, magic shows. I've never been to one, but it's not really something I'm interested in going to. So there was a lot of artists and performing type people that I just, I wasn't super excited to go to those. So with all of that being said, we were kind of thinking, okay, like, we'll just do the cruise a different time and let's just do the resort. Most people are recommending the resort anyway. So yeah, you guys actually played a really big role into our honeymoon decision. I was surprised. I thought a lot of people were gonna say cruise, and I think there was only one person that suggested a cruise. And I was like, wow, Josh and I were kind of leaning towards the cruise, and everyone just messaged me. It's like, do the resort. Wait, it will be so much fun. I was like, okay, now we really need to sit back and rethink everything. Back to what I was saying about the housing situations. Okay, so Josh was on the phone with Churchill Mortgage. I think I said this before, because we don't have credit cards, we can't do the 5% down. And they suggested wait a year, save up till you have 20% down, and then put 20% down. So we're like, okay, so we're probably gonna have to wait a year anyway. So Josh and I went to this nice steak and burger joint, and we were talking Josh was telling me at the same time that this was going on, when he was on the phone with Churchill Mortgage, the last month or two, he's been kind of bored at work. I'm gonna use Josh for example. When Josh got onto the Amazon Alexa team here in Seattle, they were working on the Alexa microwave. So he works on the team, it's Alexa home devices, so an Alexa microwave, Alexa herself. I think they make doorbells, like home devices. So before Josh got onto this Amazon Alexa microwave team, the people on that team have been working on that microwave, I think, for 2 years before Josh got on it. When Josh got on the team, they finished it up, and you work on a project for a while, years, months. This particular team, they were working on it for 2 or 3 years. So they work on it, that's all they're working on, and then they finally release it to the public. So typically, and this goes like, I would say it's safe to say this goes across the board for any software engineer team. At least that's what we noticed the culture is here. A lot of people, after they work on a project for however many years, they will quit and then move to a different team or move to a different big tech company. So a lot of the software engineers all kind of go in between Google, Microsoft, Amazon. We kind of figured that out early on after we moved here, because you didn't see that a lot in North Carolina, but here it seems like everyone has worked at all the big tech companies around here. So after Josh and his team released the Amazon microwave, they were kind of in this like limbo. You're just kind of doing busy work. You're not working on a project, or you're just working on getting the bugs out of fixing the problems in the microwave. So after you release it to the public, if there's something wrong with it, you just continue working on it. So you're never really done working on it, or you're just doing like busy work. It's not really exciting or anything. Josh, they released that microwave, I think it was in November. So December, January, February, and now March. So 3-4 months. They've been pretty bored at work. You know, he had fun working on it, but they released it, so now they're just kind of working on just random, not exciting projects. And if you know Josh, he likes learning new things. He wants to keep challenging himself and learning new things, and you know what I mean? Like, he just wants to get even better at his career, I guess is a quick way to say it. Josh was telling me how, you know, he's getting kind of bored, and after they release the microwave, they're not really doing anything. He's just been kind of like going to work and not really looking forward to it. So when we were at dinner, I was like, you know, if you're bored at work still, and we have to wait a year anyway to buy a house, why don't we just like start looking for a different city to live in, or just put everything on hold and kind of rethink it? Like, we both kind of brought up how, you know, maybe Seattle's not for us, you know, maybe we should start thinking of going somewhere else. So with Amazon, they have a really good, you can switch teams within Amazon pretty easily. You still have to apply. I think it's a little bit easier than other companies to switch teams within Amazon. We're thinking about possibly looking for a new team for Josh in a different city. So we're thinking California, because there is a lot of tech there and Amazon openings there when Josh looked at it. So it's just kind of, and the weather's really nice there too. So if we moved to California and he didn't like the team there, he could easily switch to another team. So we're thinking California. We're thinking Seattle, just stay here, because it's kind of the safe option. You know, he wouldn't have to move. He can move to a different team in Seattle. Amazon is based in Seattle. That's where it started. So there's a lot of openings here. It's just kind of like the safe. If all else fails, we could just stay here. And then we were thinking about, I think it was Austin, Texas, which is the one that we're most curious about, because we've never been to Austin, Texas, and we hear a lot of good things about it. Or there's a lot of tech in that area also. The problem with it though is there's only a few openings that Josh was curious about. So it would kind of suck if we moved there and then he didn't like it, but that's the one that we're most interested in. And one of the biggest selling points that's really drawing us into Austin is the living there is way cheaper here. You could buy, this is just example number, you could buy a $400,000 house, which is a mansion in Austin, and here that would be a 1920 rundown, cruddy looking house. It's so cheap to live in Austin, and a lot of the nice places around here in Seattle are anywhere from $600,000 or more. So it's just, you know, it's half the cost of living in Austin if we live there. So from the little bit of research that Josh looked into, it looks like his salary would potentially stay the same. It looks like it doesn't change. So that's what's really drawing us into Austin right now. And because obviously the weather is really nice there too. But yeah, that's kind of like the big thing that we've been thinking pretty seriously about, if I'm being honest. It started out as just like a thought, but now we're kind of narrowing it down, like, okay, like let's start maybe applying soon. And you know, we were a little nervous about it, but in the last 2 or 3 weeks, there's been 3 or 4 people that have left off of Josh's team onto a different Amazon team, and his manager hasn't gotten mad about it at all, because I think it's just so common in this Seattle area, because there's so many tech areas that it doesn't even phase managers anymore. But that being said, we're still in the early thoughts of it, but I think we're getting there, that we might potentially move. We'll see. You know, all of this boils down to how the interviews go in reality. So all of this could be scratched for all I know if none of the interviews go well, but we'll see. That's just kind of where we're at right now. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about tomorrow, just I guess what we're doing this weekend. Tomorrow I am wait, tomorrow's Saturday, yeah. I am seeing so I went to school at Rochester, Minnesota. It was just a tech school. Didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so went to Rochester, Minnesota at their tech college and played soccer and did my generals. But the goalie that we had on that soccer team, she is actually based in Gig Harbor, which is roughly about an hour away. And there's a bunch of breweries up there that Josh and I want to get because they're on that hot passport that I talked about. So I'm excited to visit her because I haven't talked to her in 4 years since I went to school there. That was the first college I went to. And I totally forgot that she was based in Gig Harbor, which is only an hour away. She messaged me and asked if I wanted to get dinner with her. I think it was last weekend, but we were busy with one of Josh's friends. He was in town for a wrestling tournament that I talked about on Instagram, I think. And I was like, oh, we're kind of busy with this wrestling tournament and we're hanging out with Josh's friend. How about this weekend? And then we're gonna go to those, I think there's 4 breweries up there that are on that hot passport. That Portland, Oregon trip that we went on, which I did get a ton of video footage. That'll be up probably after this, honestly. I got a lot of footage on there and I need to get it organized and edit it. But it went so well, that Portland, Oregon trip, that Josh and I are like, we need to do more of these. Those little quick, different cities. So I don't know, it went so well. We're planning on doing a bunch more. We're actually gonna sit down later this week, probably sometime this weekend, maybe on Sunday, and plan out more trips like that because it went so well. Yeah, that is just kind of where Josh and I are at right now, is possibly moving and visiting an old friend. And the next thing I need to do is make a video, like an updated video of how Josh and I's goals, our quarterly goals, are doing. I had planned out all of these videos and I got them filmed and everything, and for the next 2 months. And because this stupid storage thing has turned into such chaos we have been dealing with this stupid storage thing on my laptop and now my phone since January, February, March, 3 months now. It has been an issue. I think it's fixed now, but we'll see. I said this before, I'm like, I think we fixed it, and then my phone storage was getting full, so we'll see how it goes, but I think it's finally fixed. But yeah, I just felt bad because I was telling everyone, I'm like, I'm gonna get this video up, and then I couldn't get it out because there was so much storage problems I was having. Also, keep in mind, I'm also not very good at editing, so I'm well aware that I say the word "like" a lot. And trust me, if you're in any video editing type career or podcasting, whatever it is, when you go back and listen to yourself, you just hear, the words that you repeatedly use over and over, and it's sickening. You just, and it's annoying because you have to go in, cut it out. Yeah, it's just annoying, you know what I mean? It's annoying to edit. You hear yourself saying it and you just can't believe. I'm over there, I'm listening to myself and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, how much do I say that word "like"? And this is me off how much I have to edit that word out. It's annoying. I couldn't believe that that's how I talk. So it's really eye-opening doing this video editing because it's changing the way I talk. I'm just aware of it more, so I'm trying to say the word "like" less. And I don't know, we'll see how this video goes. But yeah, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I'm not that good at editing, so I know these videos are not smooth, you know what I mean? Smooth and crisp going through. There's a lot of cuts and I'm not that good at editing. It's just part of it. You learn as you go. I'm not gonna obviously be perfect the first time around. I think if you're on the email list on my boutique, I usually have it linked in the description box. I sent out an email to everyone that's on that boutique email list, and I was like, the whole email was, hey, if anyone has any recommendations for any tips, pointers, or recommendations on anything when it comes to YouTube. I'm talking filming equipment, like any recommendations on affordable filming equipment, or tips or pointers on like what worked for them when they started YouTube, or tips on how to get more comfortable on camera, or what to film, just anything revolving around YouTube, anything at all. I would seriously love to hear it. So I sent that out to everyone that follows me on the boutique email list, and I'm opening it here too. Like, leave a comment, message me on any of the social things. I'm new to all of this, even editing software or computers to get, or apps, anything, just seriously anything. I will eat it up. I'll look into it, and I know I'm not that good at it, but you know, I'm trying to get better. Each video I've edited, and I only have I think 3 or 4 up, I've learned something new. And YouTube has been a lifesaver in teaching me that. So I'll probably end it here. I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk about, but thank you guys for sitting down and getting ready together and just catching up on life and where Josh and I have been, and updates on this whole storage thing and why I haven't been able to get as many videos up as I wanted to. Hopefully it was a little entertaining. I know when I watch YouTube, these are kind of my favorite videos to watch, or when YouTubers sit down and get ready and talk about their life. Those are my favorite videos, so I'll probably be doing a lot of more videos like this because I like them. And hopefully I get better at it, but please feel free to follow me on all my social medias. I have them linked at the end screen, and I have them linked down below. I respond to every single DM and comment because I'm new and I'm able to do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I really have been enjoying YouTube, and I'm glad that I think that this will stick, and I'll probably stick with YouTube because I have been enjoying it. So I'm really excited to get better. Again, any tips, pointers, anything, email me back, or somehow get a hold of me on any of my socials. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, follow me on any of the socials, feel free to message me. Thank you so much. I love you guys. See you next video.